Now we'll test this in a moment, but before we do, let's minify our CSS as well. So I'm going to go back to the browser and I'm going to do a search for grunt CSS minification. And I'm going to navigate to grunt-contrib-cssmin. I'll scroll down, and this follows the same conventions for documentation for a grunt-contrib plugin. It gives us a description of what it does, minify CSS, and installation instructions. Let's do this. So I'll copy the installation line and paste it in our command line to install this inside of our project. We have to make sure that we're in the base directory of our project for this to work. And we also want this save dev at the end. Now I mention this repeatedly because in a couple of the plugins that I've used for Grunt, they haven't added this save dev in the examples. So just be on the lookout if you're copying and pasting commands for any time that save dev isn't added in. Okay, so we have it installed. Now the next line is going to be adding it to our Grunt file. So we'll copy this, jump back to our editor, and paste it in under contrib-uglify. We'll save it, and let's look at an example. I'm going to scroll down through the options, and we have a couple of examples here. As you can see, we don't need to include options. They're only included in this example here. So until we need them, we'll omit them. But it looks like this is a simpler version here for the file structure. So let's copy this, and I'll go to our Grunt file, and here under uglify, I'm going to add a couple of new lines and paste in CSSmin. I'm going to remove the options until we need them. And then let's change the output to our CSS folder. So CSS, and we'll call it all css.min.css, following the same convention that we did for our JavaScript. And for our source, we just have one source, and it's going to be in our CSS folder, and it will be all css.css. Again, this name doesn't matter here. We could replace it with anything, but we do need to copy the name of the task, which is CSSmin, down here in our default task. So I'm going to copy it and paste it in, save it, and let's run this on the command line. Okay, we get an error here, and it says, warning, task default not found. And if we go back to our code, you can see that we have another little syntax error here. It's a little hard to notice these since we're getting them for the trailing commas, but we need a comma here. So I'm going to add that, and I'm also going to add a comma here, just in case we forget next time. I'll save this, and let's try running this again on the command line. Okay, so concatenation happened for our JavaScript, our CSS. Our JavaScript was uglified, that is minified, and then our CSS was minified as well. I'm going to jump to the File Explorer just to make sure that really happened. And here under CSS is our all css.min.css. So as you can see, the minified version is 24 kilobytes, and the original was 45. So we cut the file size down by almost half. That's not bad.